We're here to talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night. Actually, those of you who are listening on the feeds will see that Sam Heath and I talked about the 2025 Cineverse version of Silent Night, Deadly Night as our new movie Monday this week. So I thought it would be fun to pair it with the original. I was talking on that show, Alex, that there is a version of these movies that are coming out now, right? It's almost like a highlight reel filmmaking, cool kid horror. Like, we know all the stuff, you know all the stuff. It's so wink and a nod, right? It's, as they used to say, right? The Simpsons was originally written by guys with this vast, weird, varied media diet. Right. Eventually, The Simpsons became written by people that like The Simpsons, right?
Right.
And that's why it changes and dilutes. The Cineverse one had a little bit of that. Not in a bad way. It was a fun movie. But when rewatching that, I came home and immediately turned this movie on. It's just the problem with these new remakes is this is an actually gross, sleazy, semi-feeling dangerous at times movies. Like the kind of movie you're like, this movie could show me damn near anything. And I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not sure that I want to be on that ride. There's a real world grit that these cool kid filmmaking remakes are going to struggle to capture. And I found myself, I had seen this movie a lot. I hadn't probably seen it in like 20 years, though. I found myself really loving this movie. Alex, I'm sure you had the exact same reaction.
Nope, opposite. Legitimately, I was just like, all right, cool. Like, look, I don't even know how many episodes of this and Film Alchemist we've done at this point in my life. Like, I can't, like, I feel
over
like
700.
we're somewhere around 700. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I knew we were somewhere around 700 episodes. So, we've watched a lot of shit. Like, a lot of stuff like this, too. Like, 80s horror is also very specifically, like, exploitative. Like, I don't know how else to describe it to you, but, like, there's an exploitation element to a lot of these. It's just like, it's fine. There's, like, maybe 10% less in favor of, like, a much longer prologue to the, like, meat of the movie. Fine. Didn't bother me at all. But there is an element also to this that's literally like, I don't know. I got this, like, knife hanging around. I have a Santa hat. Is that a movie? Yeah. Well, all right, let's do it. Why not? Like, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, like, it's just, like, not interesting. And I think that's the problem that's the problem I had with watching it in general. Not that it was bad. It was just like, I get it. Santa is just like, sometimes being on the naughty list thing is just not going to work for people. I don't know.
See, I find this movie infinitely fascinating, right? And I actually think the 3 stages of it make it more digestible in a way that's fun. Because what it is once he goes full Santa and he's walking into places and naughty, punish. Like, I see it. It devolves a little more into your classic tits and Santa kind of movie, right? Get that?
Yeah, a classic tits and Santa.
Yeah, a classic tits and Santa tale. What? 'Twas the tits before Santa. Yeah, we get that.
That subgenre, yes.
Yeah, the subgenre. I think what makes this movie different, right? What makes this movie so interesting to me are the 2 prologue sections, right? Because there's him as a little boy going to see his grandpa. His parents are clearly there to, pick the friggin' bones, right? Yeah. They're going to get Grandpa's stuff, so they're making sure they have paperwork and this and that. And Grandpa's catatonic, right? Comatose kind of guy. When they leave, he goes, "Hey, little boy, have you been naughty?" He's like, "You know what Santa does?" He goes, "Christmas Eve's the scariest night of the year. And if you've been bad, Santa's going to punish you. And you should run. You should run if you see Santa." And the little kid's like, "Oh." And that's a classic, amazing old man who's at the end of his rope traumatizing the shit out of his grandchild, right? That's how his grandkid will remember him, as the guy who scared the shit out of him about Santa, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. This cuts to a Santa robbing a liquor store. He shoots this guy. He's got like $8. Classic kind of, Santa down on his luck. Oh, look, Santa among us, right? No longer the god of consumers, but now he's one of us. These 2 stories come to a head when the kid's like, I don't want Santa to come here. One of the cutest kids I've ever seen in a movie. I don't want to see Santa. He's terrifying. The parents don't listen, of course, right? They're just like, your grandpa's an old fuck. They stop because Santa's car broke down. They go, oh my God, isn't this great? This will make a great yard at our next boring ass cocktail mixer. Kid, wake up. And he's like, I don't want to meet Santa. The parents not listening, leading to this vile, disgusting demise. There's something in this opening that I actually do think really works for me in the Christmas atmosphere.
What is it?
I think it's fun. It's an inversion, right? This whole Christmas.
Oh, you're saying overall.
Christmas is the American holiday that we've invented, right? We co-opted Jesus to try to make it not seem disgusting. What it is a morbidly obese fucking B&E expert coming into our house telling us to spend all this money we don't have to buy shit that no one fucking needs. And we color it in these disgusting fucking colors and these costumes. And it's Christmas cheer. All it is spend all your fucking money. The American God is Santa Claus. We are his consumer slaves, right? There's something about taking the piss out of Santa and Christmas that always works for me. This little kid who's now really struck by the concept of naughty and nice in a real fucking grown-up way, seeing this consumer God fucking unfurl his fangs and destroy his family. It does work for me. It's exploitative, yes, but it's interesting and it's fun to me.
I get it. Again, I don't know how to describe why this does not work for me in general, other than just like it's just a general vibe. Like again, I get all of the like because there is like a level of critique that goes to like oh it's just about post traumatic stress and witnessing terrible things like how that. I'm like yeah sure
dude,
great
yeah,
thank you for appreciate your dissertation on that. That's wonderful. I think that there's just that. Here's what it is. You're going to kick the movie off with this. I'm like, cool. So we're going to kick the movie off with apparent rape and murder. Like, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Thankfully, mercifully, the movie makes the one choice that it's just the shirt getting ripped open. So I was like, good God, this kid's in the weeds across the street. Yeah. This is a lot. It's one of those, I let my kids watch all kinds of horror movies with me. As soon as this happened, I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, nope. Yeah. This one, kids are not going to watch with me.
There's like that.
That's
gross. That's not great. That's really uncomfortable and awkward. And, you don't want to have to explain what's going on. This thing starts and the movie is beginning and that's how we're opening the movie. You're like, okay. Like,
you weren't all at least a little engaged in this? Or is this you looking back having not enjoyed the whole journey? Were you at least in a little bit during this part?
I mean, I'm engaged just because, we watch movies for the pod, so I'm going to watch the movie. But as soon as this starts, here's my problem. As soon as this starts happening, as soon as we see a shirt rip open, a guy's head get, blown off, like the gas station attendant gets a bullet to the head, you're like, okay, well, Santa's going on a rampage. All right. I think this is the problem. And, again, there's a level of desensitization that's starting to happen, I think, especially for 80s horror for me. When we watch movies like this where there is just this glaze over my eyes where I'm like, got it. I totally get it. I think that's the problem is the shock value. It's not even well, that's horrible. It's more just not only is this horrible, but it's also something that I don't want to see. I think there's just a level to that kind of thing that I'm not interested in because the kid watching across the street, you're like, okay, that's horrible. Who would not be traumatized by all of this?
Baby in the car seat screaming. I was terrified. I was like, is this the kind of movie that's going to go after that baby? Because the big brother's just like, fuck you, and goes and hides across the street.
Yeah, there's a level of misery to it that I'm just...
There's trauma.
That's what it is. I think there's a level of misery built into that concept and, that opening of the movie that I personally... Maybe I'm just, old and not into it anymore. But I think that level of misery, I'm just like, oh my God, dude. Of course this kid's life is fucked up. He just watched his parents get murdered by Santa. Who the fuck wants to, continue living through that shit?
Yeah, so I think the God of consumerism has pulled your family out of the car. I'll tell you this, though. This is the thing I'm surprised did not work for you. We pair that with the American dream and consumer culture has betrayed you and eaten your fucking family, pulled your mom's tits out, right? That's traumatizing enough. Then they say, as if it's not bad enough, what is the other pillar of the Christmas mythology? We're going straight to the fucking church, baby. And now we're adding nun trauma into
Now we're
the
in
mix.
Now we're in the
And
nun
this
trauma.
is the part of the movie. I was like, this is the part of the movie that I love the most. It's the part that did not make it into the new one. And to me, this is the part that sets the movie apart for me. This nun-sploitation section, which it's not nun-sploitation. It's just nuns in an exploitation movie. But this section is what hammered it home for me. I was like, the idea of America versus the church crushing this kid together, that
My dad went to Catholic school. My dad went to Catholic elementary school. And all of these stories were things that happened. There was a mother superior at the school who was so old and frail, she would like take kids into a closet and beat them if they were bad. She was so old and frail at one point. My dad told me the story one time where the nun took him into the closet for fucking around in class, and she had like a tennis ball or like a rubber ball, and she was like, "I'm gonna throw this ball when you leave. Tell the kids that I hit you." And so she would like throw the ball so that it would sound like she like beat the shit out of the kids because she just couldn't do it anymore. I'm like,
she could only muster to catch.
Yeah,
like she was Oscar Isaac Frankenstein puppet.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like, this is an insane level of like authoritarianism, like that you need, like to instill fear in children. Like, you could have just said, "Hey, I'm sorry for being a dick. Don't do it." Like, those kinds of things. I don't mind this portion. The orphanage thing actually is much more informing for me than this. Like, here's the thing: the exploitation open with the god of consumerism, the whole thing, all that. I'm like, got it. Not great. I think I like the orphanage stuff a lot more than I would.
This is the best stuff in the movie to me.
I think also because it has much more. Look, I'm gonna say it again. I think sexual assault is terrible. All this it was like the opening is not fun at all.
No one is saying it's fun that happens. We're on record. We do not
on
like.
record. Not cool.
We are anti. When you're handing out the flyers, we are anti.
There is so much more meat on the bones, though, of the orphanage stuff, of like informing this poor kid of like really what he ends up becoming, informing like this poor kid's ideology. Like, there's like definitely like psychosomatic's wrong word. There's definitely psychological trauma from what happened when he was a kid, but there's so much more psychology that goes into orphan child living at a Catholic orphanage getting beaten by nuns regularly than guy saw Santa kissing Santa Claus. Guy saw mommy not wanting to kiss Santa Claus. Yeah. Like, there's it's exactly. Compounding interest.
Exactly. And it's one of those things, like, he's the kid and they're doing the Christmas thing, and we have the kind of dope trope of a kid who draws something horrifying. And he hands the picture of Santa and the chopped up reindeers, right? And they're like, "Oh, go see Mother Superior." And it's one of those things you're like, this is such a good kind of indictment on the church and this and that. They see this kid drew a chopped up Santa and a reindeer. Instead of going, why would he do that? Oh, yeah, he saw Santa put a fucking hole in his dad's head, rip his mom's tits out, and cut her fucking throat. Maybe this kid has a right to not give a fuck about Santa. Maybe this kid has a right to draw Santa getting fucking maimed. Maybe
Perhaps.
With you, the people who are selling fucking bullshit, fake man in the sky horse shit, can let him have one fake bearded man he doesn't have to partake in, right? Instead of whipping him, sending him to his room. And then the most audacious scene in this part, the Mother Superior goes, "You know what he needs? He needs to sit on Santa's lap. Yeah. That's going to fix it." And this kid is just breaking down. And he's like, "I just don't want to be by Santa." So not only are they forcing him to believe in Santa, who everyone knows is fake, they're making him sit on the lap of another fake Santa, a corporeal Santa, the same kind you can smell the whiskey on the breath of, like what murdered his family. He punches him and runs up to his room, and he's like, "Please, I'll be good. I'll be good." And it's like, yeah, this guy's got the circus elephant sway. Yeah. There's no way this goes good.
Yeah, no, this is like the Russian roulette scene in The Deer Hunter, except all the chambers have bullets.
All the chambers are full of Santas. Yeah. You don't want to hang around.
Every chamber, I'm like, that's not like. I'm like, nuns exposure therapy was not the thing. Like, we should not be doing something like there's
Yeah.
I think that's
Hey,
the other
kid
thing,
who
too.
Santa murdered his whole family, just go sit on his lap. Don't mind the smell of Canadian's finest. It's all right.
There's a really funny level of like, okay, look, this is another thing too. It's just like, there's like a great indictment of the Catholic Church again. It's just like, no, it's cool. We know everything. It's like, nope, not true. Like, there's just such a fun level to like, especially look, nuns are about, nuns are put upon servants of the Lord. I hate the, ex-Catholic. I hate dealing with that kind of hierarchy. I love though, like, pissed off nuns who just like enforce some sort of authoritarianism on the especially here, and you're just like, bro, you deserve everything that's coming to you because you know it's going to come back.
Here's a moment, Alex, for your Catholicism recollections. So he gets out of trouble. The nice nun who's like, hey, have you guys ever heard of psychology? And they're like, what a witch, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Like, I think this kid's in trouble and we need to take care of him. No, we got to put him on this old creep's lap. She goes up to his room and it's like, it's okay, laddie. It's okay. You could go play. And he's like, okay. He goes outside. He goes, ha, ha, ha. There's two things in this scene I want to key on. One, the kid who just got in trouble for drawing murdered Santies and getting spanked by a nun walks up to the keyhole. And in some kind of weird janitor's closet that's filled with sacks of potatoes, right? So like also like a food storage, these two are getting it on. Here's what I love about this scene. One, this has to be a Tarantino classic because the way this film shoots people having sex, starting
Paul Dano in
bizarrely posed feet first,
yeah,
and then slowly moving up to people not having sex but laying like they are. This kid, the weird staging of the sex. Go look up the pool table in Linnea Quigley. It's just bizarre how they stage these and start at the feet. Like there's a fetish happening here. So this kid who just got whooped by nuns for drawing a murdered Santa sees these two janitors who are just like, we make minimum wage. We care so little about Christmas and the spirit of Christmas. Things are not good for us. We're going to fucking slam ham in the world's smallest orphanage while kids are awake. This is not late at night. This is like right during recess. These two are like, let's get it in and slam hams while the orphans can walk in. Lo and behold, an orphan walks up and sees them through the keyhole. Mother Superior's like, you're a beast. You're a senator. She goes in the room. This is the moment where I was like, now we're getting into interesting territory. So this guy and girl, they're still laying there naked, mid-amour. And Mother Superior's like, that's it, you're beast, you're sinners. Whoosh, pulls out the belt and is going to spank two grown-up employees while they're mid-coitus. How fast does that janitor bust, Alex?
I mean, I think in the span of the belt moving, that's it right there.
I think, that's the moment an old woman even threatened that as I'm soaking with my coworker, I might bust immediately. But it's better than I thought.
Oh my God. I can't believe
come true.
I cannot believe you just said soaking. I hate you for saying that so much.
I know that's not your religion. That's another people's thing.
No, that is okay. Well, I did a show. I didn't know what this was until this last summer. I did a show about Mormonism. Yeah. And I worked on a show about Mormonism, and someone was like, one of my coworkers was like, "Do you know what the soaking thing is?" I was like, "The fuck is soaking?" He's like, "You're gonna have to Google it." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
okay."
And they have their friends bounce on the bed so it simulates the movie.
The fuck,
crazy. Yeah,
it takes so much. And again, my biggest thing, like I was like, okay, whatever, like live your life. I don't give a shit. I'm like, here's my problem. This is so much work to not break a rule. Like it'd be so much easier to just sin. Like I would just be like, I'm just gonna
do what other religions do. Use the mouth. It's fine. Come on. What are we doing here? Are you children? You're an old janitor. Figure it out. Yeah. But yeah, this sets up the whole. Of course, this guy is a sexually repressed, psycho-violent Santa, right? I think these two prologues set up what become an interesting base layer for what ends up being a fairly generic guy loses his mind and starts killing people movie. So I think setting us up with these two early phase prologue moments lead us to when we see this kind of buffed up, blonde, mulleted, cherry-cheeked young man. There's this bit of like, he's a cherub, right? He might be all right. He's picking stuff up. He's working hard. And then old Christmas rolls around and his little tiny Italian boss is being a dick. And he's got a crush on the girl in the front. And his old manager's a dick too, right? Who's drinking a little. It sets you up.
By the way, that was my favorite line when he closes the door to the, all right, let's get shit-faced. Like,
yeah, it's 7 o'clock, it's over! Let's get shit-faced! And it's like,
right.
You work with children and one angry Italian man.
And toys. What's the matter with
chill,
you?
Dude. I have gotten drunk in a Toys R Us when I worked there. It was awesome. Neither here nor there. The idea that this is pushing him to... The nun who is the one who believes in modern mind techniques, right? His friend.
Yeah.
Do you think it's odd that she gets him a job at a fucking toy store? Do you think maybe the character we're supposed to care about the most shouldn't get him a job in a fucking toy store? Because when the big fat Santa breaks his ankle, they go, we need someone to fill in. Of course, it's the guy who's the most traumatized by Santa ever.
Yeah. Like, okay, so this is the part of this is the movie that's starting to this is what's starting to come apart at the seams for me as I'm like, because again, I'm like, all right, childhood trauma, more childhood trauma. We could go 10 years later and yeah, he's this like cherubic blonde fellow who's like ready to go. Just a quiet guy, just trying to live his life. The level of happenstance that gets him into a Santa suit, I'm just like, why didn't he just slip on a banana peel into the suit? Could we have just done that?
How dare you?
It would have happened so much faster.
Dare you? Like, he works at a toy store.
The machinations to make sure that this poor bastard winds up in a Santa suit. I'm just like, guys, we are just like...
No. It makes perfect sense except for the scene. They did. This is also the part of the movie where, like, all of a sudden the movie looks like it's like a work print and no longer the movie. I'm assuming they just lost the scene where he had the emotional turmoil where he's like, no, I can't be Santa. Guys, bad things have happened to me. Instead, his boss is like, it'd mean a lot. He goes,
no.
Next thing, it's a hard cut to him in Santa. Yeah. I'm assuming that extra important scene was lost. It is weird. But it is, again, seeing kids sit on his lap the way he sat on that Santa's lap. And he's like, you're being naughty. If you're naughty, I'll punish you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That works for me. That's amazing.
I mean,
that part's okay.
Okay, look, again, once the Santa suit is on, and again, the movie's called Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm like, yeah, I have a good idea what's about to happen.
And Sam reminded me, not so silent. That was his great critique.
Sam.
Fucking slam, dude. You got to get on some Sam shows. It's an event.
It's one of those things. Like, again, I'm like, okay, I know where this is going. I'm not going to be surprised by any of the things that precede this. Not only because I know what the title of the movie is, but the other portion of that concept is I am fully aware that this young man is not right in the head, and now he's
this guy ain't doing so good.
Suit.
Well, I will say this. I think from the moment he leaves the toy store, the movie becomes like 70% less interesting, but has some pretty surprisingly good kills for this time, right?
Right.
But I think that the one you got to give this movie is the nun getting him a job in a toy store. The nun who wants to support him and help. She knows nowhere is it more fucking awful to be. I worked Toys R Us on a Black Friday through Christmas here one year. Nowhere is the fucking disgusting open maw of Santa Claus more fucking in your face than working at a toy store. It's a horrible fucking place.
I worked in a mall. I've worked in a mall on quite a few Black Fridays, and they are black.
It's awful.
Pits.
And this lady, this nun,
it is a circle of hell.
Guilty. I think this nun might be doing this to him on purpose because she wants Mother Superior to finally confess that she was right, and the violence he saw is still in him. Right? Prove that. Good for you.
Oh, nice.
The movie goes to the old essay story beat where the little Italian manager who was
greasy
dressed
Italian fellow,
somehow has found a legal loophole, right? Where as long as you're carrying a mistletoe, you can assault whoever you want. She does the kisses. She doesn't want to see his little pichaline, and then he starts hitting her.
The setup to get to him trying to get it in, like,
Hey,
Again.
yo, I got a present for you. Hey.
Oh, hey, I got a present for you. We got to do it over there. Oh, hey, hey. Like,
Put a bow on the piece of lead. Hey, over there in the corners.
hey, told me, take a look at my piece of lead. Oh, hey, but we good.
You Italian guys are incorrigible.
There's some. I've never. Okay, this is actually okay. This is something. Again, my mother's Scott Irish. I'm only half Italian, but I do look pretty Italian. There are so many different ways to describe Italian genitalia. I've never understood why there are so many words for dick, for a penis in Italian. But
penises?
Like there's literally like pisciolite's one. That's a really popular one.
I always thought the cannoli because it's cream filled. That seems to make the most sense.
Pisciolite's a popular one because of, but that's for like if you're describing.
Wait, is it pisciolite or lean? Pisciolite.
Leet.
Okay.
So pisciolite would be like if you have a little penis, like
Whoa.
Look at him running around with a little pisciolite out.
That's why it's not one. We need a new word. If someone's always like Griffey, your little dick, I'd be like, nope, we need to workshop that. I want a new word.
There's another one.
Something more adorable.
There's another one that like it was when I can't remember what movie I was watching, but my mom blurted it out when I was like 14. I was like, the fuck word is that? You totally made that up. And again, my mother is not Italian.
Your mom just a word that she'd probably heard your dad moaning into the night a bunch, screamed it out for you to hear.
I think she might have. I think what she did is she heard my grandma say it one time because it's chingazal.
Your grandpa was laying the chingazal on your grandma, and your mom just internalized it and gave that to you as trauma?
I think my grandmother probably like was talking about someone running, doing something stupid. Like, it's
train? What are we talking? I thought you were going to say running a train.
I'm trying to impart a family memory. My parents don't fuck in front of each other. So there you go. My family does not fuck each other in front of each other. So no. What I'm saying is there's a lot of different words. Here's the thing, but this is why I bring this up. You can make anything sound like you're describing a dick with an Italian accent, okay? Yeah. Like any word you choose, if you do it with a weird little Italian like zing on the end of it, it will sound like you're describing a penis. I don't know why. Yeah. This is just like the Italian accent. It's just kind of like there, like
yeah. Chingaline? What is it?
Chingazal.
Oh, it sounded like a bunch of Italian Sheldons running around. Bazinga.
Yeah. You could say bazinga. Like anything you say with an Italian. I'm telling you. Next time you're curious about this.
The Italians have a fun little word for assaulting stockroom ladies?
Hang on.
Oh, no. This actually comes up a lot. We know.
They don't. But I'm gonna attempt it right now. I'm gonna attempt to make like this is how Andy, the Italian stockroomer, described it to the police when he totally went to jail for doing this. Or well, obviously he got strangled and everything, but this is in case he didn't get murdered. We had a thing, like he was like trying to think.
I filled out a purchase order. Hey,
yeah. and then the cops were listening to him, like, yeah, he definitely did it, right? All right, cool.
Yeah,
we don't even have to, like, we're gonna go to jail. Like,
you can see he spackled his pants as soon as Santa threw the lights around his neck. Take this guy to jail.
Okay,
take this beast to jail.
When he's choking, okay, when he chokes him with the lights, I was like, this is definitely going to be my favorite kill of this movie because I was immediately like, that guy still made it. That guy still nutted for sure. 100%.
Oh, no. I'm not going out without getting mine. just screaming everywhere. I do like this movie is also one of those weird. It's kind of just a hallmark of a lot of these kind of tasteless movies at times. So this young girl gets assaulted by a manager she's kissing, right?
Yeah.
The movie immediately turns its fucking clawed, gnarled fingers on this character. Because it's like, well, she kissed the guy. Why was she playing so hard to get? He slaps her around. Billy, the rosy-cheeked fucking giant killer, chokes him out with the lights. She, with her tits still out, starts going, "You're crazy!" and hitting him. And the movie seems to be telling me they want me to go, why doesn't she start sucking Santa off? He's a hero. He saved her. And I was like, this is so many layers
not good
point of view. This is so wrong. This young girl was assaulted, probably not of age, being plastered with booze by this old Italian. This other guy comes in and doesn't necessarily save her. He commits a brutal fucking murder. Like, maybe this lady's right. Maybe this is all fucked up and everyone she works with sucks. Yeah. But it has this like hint, this whiff of like 80s male fantasy where it's like, I saved her from being raped. She should immediately be ready to slurp. And you're like, that's what is going on in this movie?
There's like a really specific point of view.
It's gross.
Because it is like, so he murders, so Santa murders the guy. Her immediate, I remember like watching it, her immediate reaction was like, that's how you thank the guy who saved you from like sexual assault? Like, maybe he would not have made a move on, maybe he would not have murdered her if, she had just been like, oh, thank you, and ran away like any normal person. Like, run out of the room. Do anything other than scream at a guy who just murdered someone in front of you. There is bare bones logic to this. It makes total sense.
It's not even the it's just the grossness of the movie pausing, and they're like, well, if she would have been more thankful that he is a fucking insane murderer.
It is a specifically male point of view.
Yeah,
like,
there's a thing where like
specific.
He kind of looks at her, and it's this Beauty and the Beast thing, like, well, if she had been more thankful and done what she should have done, instead of, copping an attitude, right? Like an old ball and chain, she would have been fine. But instead she gets box cuttered up the guts while we look at her tits. Like, it's such a weird, and again, I do think this movie, I think it's one of those brilliant blends, the alchemy we talk about sometimes. I don't think this is an insanely well thought out script. I do think some of the pieces just collide upon each other, and we watch it years later, and we start making connections to things that aren't there. I think that's what, happens to great works of art, is we start filling in and adding our own layers on. That becomes canon to all these people who watch it. This is one of those. I don't think this is like a great like PTSD, whatever the fuck people say. I think this was a how do we get some more titties in this movie? Bam. And you can tell the guys who wrote it who love titties are also like, she should have been happy. But there is this layer of watching these two people who kind of fill in as the surrogate mom and dad, I guess. Yeah. And then, but this is kind of the last moment where we're getting into some kind of fun territory. He's running around hunting everyone else in the fucking movie or the store, right? When he gets out of the store, the movie literally is just waiting for kills, which they have two more really good kills in this. I don't know that the idea any longer carries weight. It's the weird, like, we're waiting to see how he's going to snap and become this Santa. Right. And then when he does, there's no kind of grappling or moral equivocating. The one nun tries to be that sounding board for us, but she like put him in a goddamn Christmas store.
Yeah,
so it's hard to...
There's like this attempt at sort of like Christmas cookie Dr. Loomis almost, where you're like, hey, we're not doing that.
She's right around with the cop, and she's like, he's seen terrible trauma. It's like, the cop's like, why did you get him a job in a toy store? Shut up, the Lord works in mysterious ways. And it's like that doesn't, what?
Yeah, like the cop, like, there could be a whole other movie. The cops, like, while she's in the bag, and the cops are just like, the fuck? Did she say she got him? Did she do this on purpose? Is this to prove a point? I can't believe this bitch. I'm taking her to jail. Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
There's a level of inconceivability that you want the cops to finally address. Like, okay, you guys are fucking terrible at this. Like, we're shutting this orphanage down. It does start to get
to a point where you're like, this has a little bit of, she's not happy at her work. The Holy Ghost is an absentee husband. And she's like, I could set this motherfucker loose. And you know where he'll end up? He'll kill two 40-year-old guys who want to steal sleds. He'll kill Linnea Quigley, who's just getting some dick. There's what? That's rude. That's horrible. And then he'll end up right back at the orphanage where I guess she just wants to turn him loose on Mother Superior and the rest. Mother Superior is like a tiny wheelchair-bound lady now. It's like, you could handle that without unleashing murder Santa on all the children.
Beat her with a stick. It's fine. I'll say this.
Put a stick in her spokes, dude. You can handle her easy. You don't have to put these kids at risk.
I mean, he clearly has great hand-eye coordination because he takes that kid's head off mid-sled. That takes a lot of effort.
Sick. That was a great kill. And then the body sleds down the hill and the head rolls out. That was fucking rad. Kill. Again, I was like, who are these assholes? And they're like, if it isn't Mark and Tom or whatever. And they're like, oh, you want a sleds? And it's just like, good. And they start. I was like, what? Is this the lamest town ever? What is happening in this town? And then they start sledding, and it's just like, these guys are going 0 miles an hour because it's like a 2-degree incline. And they're like, woo, woo. And I was like, yeah. I think Santa did them a favor chopping their heads off. Like, these guys sucked. Their life was terrible.
Their lives would have been miserable and boring. I actually felt...
Woo!
I felt Denise and Tommy's death was fully justified. I'll say that. Like that
Denise
one,
and Tommy, the people fucking on the pool table.
Exactly. You know how hard it is.
Wrong.
Do you know how hard it is to refelt a pool table? And they were like, you know what we're gonna do?
Have you scrubbed a lot of cum off of felt? Why are you so mad at them? They're teenagers.
Because, you don't fuck on a pool table. There's plenty of other places in the house to fuck. Why are you fucking?
There are no billiards champions at that house.
Maybe the dad likes to, let off steam at the end of the day.
First off, so did they. You should be letting steam off on every piece of furniture you have.
If
you have a piece of furniture in your house you have not let steam off on.
There's a perfectly good couch. It's the 80s. There's a perfectly good
you've done the
linoleum
couch like 50
kitchen.
times. There's no fun
Perfectly good linoleum kitchen with probably lots of baked
goods. Do it on the table. All of a sudden, you're like, ooh, there's a chalk in my ass. It's like fun. It's exciting. It's different. That's cool.
No
that's cool.
Sorry. We're not.
Alex, that's cool. Alex,
no, it is not.
They're cool. Alex, get over it. Over it.
There's nothing you're going to do, including saying my name over and over again, that's going to make me
Alex,
think that wasn't totally
if you see a bocce ball court, get it on. Stop being a prude. Come on.
Oh, my God. I'm going to tell you right now, if I ever caught people fucking on a bocce ball court, I'd be like, you know what? You guys deserve whatever happens to you. I'm leaving.
If I caught you fucking on a bocce ball court, I would cry tears of joy and be like, my boy has become a man. I love him. I love him so much, and I'm proud of him.
And
then I'd hit record. So we'd have that memory forever.
Yeah. No, I think Denise and Tommy totally deserved it. I didn't give a shit.
That's crazy that you think two young people at the start of their lives should get fucking murdered by antlers. Linnea Quigley's antlers through the tits, a very famous horror movie scene that they recreated on Joe Bob, just because they fucked on a probably imitation felt,
deeply expensive pool table?
No way.
That guy's going to come home and be like, how come there's all this stuff? What's going on?
That's one of those Kmarts where you flip the lid over and all of a sudden it's fucking air hockey with no air. That was the Kmart special.
Okay, if that's the case, that's the only way it's justified.
If it's not league regulations, you can fuck on it. Otherwise, get off.
Listen.
I think it's crazy to say, I guess, because she answers the door and she takes clothes off to go answer the door. She just puts her Daisy Dukes on to get her cat.
She literally opens the door, tits out, and you're like, you know what, lady? You don't do that in the middle of the winter. I'm sorry.
I didn't realize you were such a Puritan. That's what I'm getting here.
Not a Puritan. I'm just like, there's social conventions that are they're going to be completely ignored. Like, she didn't, know
Who's
that you're not
outside
supposed
looking?
to do that.
It's late at night. It's dark. It's freezing. Be in your house with your family. Don't be looking at my tits.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Why is she? Why don't you put on a shirt? What's the matter with you?
Maybe she put those headlights on to shine some fucking light on your own behavior.
That's not how boobs work, and you know it.
The amount of mysteries of boobs that I don't understand to this day is still a lot. Yeah. No, like this movie, I don't understand women. I get it. What I'm saying is, there's another thing that this movie adds at the end. Just as we're piling on, the cop pulls up and he's like, hey, I think Santa's going for the orphanage there. The guy just sees a Santa and just gets out. He's like, freeze! And the Santa doesn't. And in front of children with kids all over, just fucking waste Santa, shoots him 2 or 3 times in the back. The Santa dies. These orphans have now seen an actual Santa murder, right?
How about the one
where
they
set
set
up inverse Billy?
How about the one where they set up the sequel with the dad
trying
to surprise his daughter?
Yes. Garbage day. Yeah. But what happens is they shoot the Santa, and then all of a sudden we get on the Chief Commissioner. We have a problem. He's like, yeah, go on. And he's like, it doesn't match. He's a 5 foot tall Italian meatball, bald. And they're just like, oh my God. And she goes, it's Father Peterson, whatever his name is. It's Father Peterson. It's like, you murdered the priest. He's always our Santa. And I was like, all right, well, why the fuck's he walking from like 2 blocks over? Okay. And then they go, well, he didn't answer Officer Rick's commands. And they go, he's deaf. Duh. It's how they shot and murdered the deaf pre-Santa who's walking from like 3 or 4 blocks over in front of the kids.
Again, this movie.
What a way to learn that Santa's not real. That's insane.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's things in this movie that are just like, you're like, happenstance. You're like, all right, I'm just, at that point you're along for the ride. You're just, I'm here now. I'm in the movie. I'm going to finish this because that's what we're doing. That's it.
No, we're just doing it. Billy shows up and some kid lets him in because it's Billy. It's his friend. Billy's going to punish Mother Superior. She's kind of like, you're naughty, you're evil. There is no Santa. He's not real. And he's going to fucking axe Mother Superior. And the cops again come in and they fucking put children's lives in danger by shooting fucking pistols right at them. They shoot Billy and he dies and he goes, you're all safe now. Santa is gone or Santa is dead.
Santa Claus is gone.
Yeah, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is poetic. I'm into it. And the axe falls at the feet of another young man who goes, naughty. It's awesome. That's an awesome moment. That's kind of the Halloween where
worthwhile.
Little Jamie
I'll say worthwhile freeze frame. Worthwhile.
Yeah. Also, by the way, if you see the new one where they go with the Venom route, that this is like a holy Christmas spirit that jumps from Avenger to. The new one is Tim Allen's the Santa Claus with the Venom comedy riff of talking in your head all the time. That's what the new one is, and a lot of Nazis. It was really fun. What it lacked from this one to me is that kind of real world grunge. Right? There's a real fucking disgusting kind of real small version of this, right? There are just little things like utility knives running up people. It has some of the bigger set pieces, but there's a real world grossness to this one that inherently deepens it for me versus this kind of highlight reel film that the new one is, which is fine. You could probably argue an infinitely more entertaining and interesting movie. But to me, the fun of a Christmas horror movie is putting that filth right underneath the snow, maybe mixed in a little bit. And if it's a little too polished, it's hard to capture that. Like, I love Krampus, right? Really fun movie, great monster. Krampus doesn't have that grunge or grit, right?
I think there's a level of dirty pile of snow that you kind of need for 80s movies in general. Yeah. So why not?
Yeah. Still, I mean, this is not Black Christmas. This isn't. Krampus is probably a better movie, right? If you're doing the list of like what are the better Christmas horror movies, if you count Scrooged, there's some good ones. I still think this one has something to add to the dissection of Christmas that horror movies like to do.
There's a conversation to be had, and I don't think it's necessary. Again, not my cup of tea. There's a piece of this that I'm just like, it's not going to, like, from the jump doesn't grab me. Not meaning it's not worth watching. Like, there are things in this movie that are actually highly entertaining, and I think that, holiday themed stuff is hard. I think this is something we talk about. I don't know if we talk about this like every holiday season. I think holiday horror movies are really difficult because, like, Krampus is easier because Krampus is you don't know what Krampus is, but you know what Krampus is. Krampus is anti Santa. Like, fine, easy. I think sensationalizing and reconceptualizing the character of Santa Claus, which, again, was invented by the Coca-Cola company in like the 20s or 30s to actually sell Coca-Cola. Again, like, there are things, it's based on a real thing, but the version of it that we're like familiar with is purely commercial. So I think
they took a tale and fucking injected it with all the saccharine bullshit they could.
Yeah.
Because now he's the American God. If America has created one God besides Chad Kroger looking Jesus, it's Santa Claus. That is the American mascot, is Santa Claus.
Yeah. And I mean, look, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with like making, I think it's hard to make holiday themed stuff, but I do think that there is a level of horror to it as long as you are not, and again, maybe I just need to rewatch it and not think about it this way in the beginning, but like as long as you're not watching it with this sort of odd scope of, I don't think I watched it sentimentally. I think for me it really is just like a lot at the very beginning. But I do think Santa Rampage in 2025, when you watch it, you're like, probably justified. Like, you're just like watching, you're like, well, I
it
mean,
was a simpler time in the Reagan era. Yeah. We all believed in things that we could destroy. Now we hate everything, so it is harder.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's actually a really good way to put it. I think in 1984, conceptualizing this in 1984, which is probably why people were put off by it. I think it's hard to imagine Santa doing something evil, so therefore you can't. Now it is like we are fully desensitized to the idea that like anything could be terrible.
We believe in nothing. Yeah, we have no pillars left anymore. We want to dissect everything.
Leonard Maltin said it was like a shitty splatter film, and he actually was quoted saying, "What's next? The Easter Bunny is a child molester." And I'm like, you know what? That probably has already been pitched, and people would watch
that. Yeah. You fucking coward, Leonard Maltin. You child, you coward. Just because you grew up in the upper crust of society with your great fucking Christmases. Fuck you, Leonard Maltin. Neither here nor there. All right, Alex, what was the most messed up moment in Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Okay. We talked about this. I couldn't like get over Linnea Quigley screaming. Oh no, sorry, not Linnea Quigley. No, it was the girl who got almost sexually assaulted in the stockroom, screaming at him, being angry that she saved him. Like that feels odd. Like, and again, like she's yelling at him, and his immediate reaction is to murder her. I thought I was like, that feels fucked up. But like that one bothered me, along with the dad trying to surprise his daughter by dressing up as Santa Claus. And the cops run in, guns up, and she goes, "Daddy," and I'm like, boy, that's therapy right there. There's
a lot of destruction of Santa here. Yeah,
that is a rough road.
There's a weird, like, man who doesn't get sex and blames Christmas for it vibe in this movie, right? Where, like, he saves a woman from assault, and the writer's mad she's not sympathetic enough. It's very bizarre. This whole segment of the movie, the sexual undertones of this movie are vile and disgusting.
I'd say that. Those would be mine.
If I had to pick the most messed up moment in Silent Night, Deadly Night, it's hard because there honestly are a couple, but I'm going with when the little boy gets in trouble for drawing a Santa Claus who's chopped up and full of knives, right? Same with reindeers. The nun yells at him, it's like, "You little bastard, you got to get some Santa therapy. You got to learn." And the nun thinks the way to fix him is to make him confront, and this is a nun, by the way, whose entire life work is selling the fake images of bearded men in the sky, right? God and Santa. And this kid's like, "I'll do the God thing with you if you just fucking let me not believe in Santa because he murdered my dad, pulled my mom's jugs out, and it was horrible, and I don't want to see it." And they go, "Niche, niche. Time to sit on this old whiskey-drunk Santa's lap." And he fucking decks Santa. He's up in the room like, "Please, I'll be good. I'll be good," swaying like a circus elephant. And I was like, I thought the church was bad enough just doing the Catholic shit, let alone you got to sit on drunk mall Santa's lap. Also,
not cool.
Sub messed up moment to that is when the boy's sent to his room for not liking Santa because Santa murdered his family. And he hears the two janitors whose lives are so lowly and bad that they decide to have sex while the kids are outdoors having recess in the stockroom. Mother Superior busts in and calls them filthy sinning beast and plans on whipping them while they're still soaking before they can get dressed, which probably immediately leads to new sins and kinks. I think we see in this movie, Mother Superior is the Santa Claus giving the gift of trauma to everyone in her presence. That's it for Silent Night, Deadly Night. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did and more than Dandino did. It's a good time at Christmas to just feel like shit. That's what we're looking for every year. So you can get the gift. You could give a gift to this podcast, right? Go to Indiegogo. Type in Mr. Cream Jeans because we've been shadow banned. You can get the perk where you join this very podcast to talk about any movie you want or do a film festival draft. We would love to have you on. That would be great. Give us the gift of helping us make our first movie. Another gift you can give yourself and every movie lover you know, the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon page. A great gift for everyone who loves this show, who loves movies. We're going to be revamping and making it even stronger in the year of our Lord 2026. A great time to get in. Also, make sure you follow Misfit Parade on YouTube. TikTok, Instagram, all kinds of awesome stuff there. We would love to see you over there. We'll see you next time.